Hello fellow booktubers, my name is Lauren and you're watching Dreams Books Courage. I'm once again home for the weekend, so I decided why not go ahead and film my wrap-up slash TBR video. And once again, this is a combined video because I have once again not read very much in the past month, but I'll kind of get more into why that is whenever I talk about my TBR. So let's go ahead and talk about the one novel that I read in the month of October, which is a tiny little step up from the month of September because in that month I just read a novella, but at least in the month of October I read an actual novel. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the book that I managed to finish in the month of October was actually a reread for me, and that is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. And I read this one for a class, so of course I had to finish this one. Also, I just love this cover so much, and it has blue in pages, and I love everything about that. I'm pretty sure the first time that I read this novel was about 4 years ago, so I felt like it was a great time to reread it considering the first time was my sophomore year of high school and now I'm in my sophomore year of college, and so I definitely know a lot more about English than I did at that point in time. I still ended up giving this one the same rating that I did the first time, which was 4 stars. But I feel like last time I did not enjoy this book nearly as much as I did this time. This is definitely not one of my favorite novels, and I feel like in some ways it always kind of disappoints me. I don't know why I always go into it with the mindset that this is going to be creepy, especially after I've already read it, but I just expect it to be. I mean, it's definitely a good Victorian novel, but just don't go into it thinking that it'll be creepy or scary at all. Victorian novels are definitely not my favorite thing, but I feel like this one definitely gives me a greater appreciation for them. And I also feel like the layers of the story just give it a lot more depth. To be honest, I'm not really learning a whole lot about this novel within the class that I had to read it for, but I still really enjoyed this, and I feel like just rereading it really gave me more appreciation for it. I also felt like I was just reading it over such a long period of time that I was just kind of losing interest in this, although I definitely did not want to be. But I do enjoy the characters, although they don't have much depth to them. They are definitely unique in their own ways, and so I do appreciate that. Also, is it just me, or is anyone else a little bit conflicted about Frankenstein the monster? Because in some ways I feel bad for him, but in other ways of course I don't, because he's like a murderer. Anyways, if you've read Frankenstein, definitely tell me your thoughts on it down below. And as I said before, I did end up giving this one 4 out of 5 stars, which was my original rating for it, and I am keeping that rating. And now onto my November TBR. I currently have 4 books on this TBR, although I do not think that I'll get through all 4 of them. I'm hoping to at least get through 3 of them. 2 of them are for a class and the other 2 are not, but I am already more than halfway through 2 of those novels, so hopefully you'll be seeing more books in my wrap up for next month. But the first book that I have to talk about is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, or Bronte, I'm not sure. If you know the correct pronunciation, definitely tell me down below. But anyways, this is one of the books that I'm reading in one of my English classes. I do not have very much left in this novel, so I'm definitely going to be finishing this one in this month. Plus, I really need to since I need to finish it by next week for class anyways. This is also a Victorian novel, and I feel like in a lot of ways it mirrors Frankenstein, but it's about a lot of different characters, the main 2 characters being Catherine and Heathcliff, and if you've ever heard anything about this novel, you've probably heard about them. The characters' lives within this novel are definitely interwoven, and I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate the characterization as well. But on the flip side of that, all of the characters are pretty detestable in their own ways. There aren't really any good characters. There's only one character that I really like, and all the rest are just horrible people. Like, if you think The Great Gatsby is bad with dislikable characters, definitely do not pick this one up because these characters are way worse. They're just horrible people, and some of them are rich and horrible, and I feel like they don't really need to be horrible, they just do it because that's how they are. And the further into this novel you get, the worse these characters get. Bronte does have a lot of metaphors in this, and I really appreciate those. I feel like they do a lot to encapsulate the story, and I also personally really like her writing style. I feel like it's really great for that time period, and I don't know why, but it really reminds me of Jane Austen's writing style. Again, this novel is like supposed to be creepy in some ways, or at least at the time period it was, but I'm really not getting that creep factor either. But it is a pretty good Victorian novel, and I'm definitely looking forward to finishing it and giving you my thoughts. And the next novel that I'm planning on finishing this month is one that's been on my TBR for like the past 3 months, I think, and that is Star Wars Lost Stars by Claudia Gray. And again, I'm more than halfway through this one. I'm just reading it for pleasure, and I am really enjoying it. It's just that college has gotten into the way, and so I just really haven't had that much time to read this. And it's not like a small novel, it's like 500 pages, but I am still really enjoying this. I love the characters, and it just builds even more of the world of Star Wars within this, and so I really appreciate that. For the most part, it follows episodes 4 through 6, and so I really appreciate that because it kind of feels like it's a behind the scenes of just 2 like random people within the Empire and the Rebellion. But it is quite a great novel. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really hoping to finish it this month because I've been reading it for like 2 months already. The writing style is not amazing, amazing or anything, but I feel like the story is definitely very unique. And if you ever wonder like what is happening to the other people besides like the main characters of like Luke and Leia, then definitely check this one out because it definitely gives you a different side of things and even a side within the Empire, which I find to be very interesting. But I'm definitely looking forward to finishing this one because I have no idea where it's going to go. And the next novel that I have to read is also for an English class, and that is Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. And I don't even know if this can be considered a novel because it's so tiny. I feel like it might be a novella, but I'm just gonna go ahead and consider it a novel because I'm not reading enough anyways. In the month of September, I read a novella by Joseph Conrad, which is called The Secret Sharer, and I did quite enjoy that one, so I'm hoping to enjoy this one, although I know it has like things of racism in it, so obviously I'm not for that, but I have to read this one anyway, so I'm hoping the racism isn't that bad. I mean, of course, any racism is, and honestly, that's like all I know about it and all I've heard about it. A lot of people don't like it for that reason, which I can completely understand, but I do like Conrad's writing style, so I'm hoping that'll continue within this novel. I just really have no idea what to expect with this one, but I'm completely fine with going into it blind. It is quite a quick read, so I should be able to finish this within this month. Plus, I need to for class anyways. I'm a little bit uneasy about this one, but I'm hoping that it'll be an enjoyable read. And the last novel that I'm hoping to get to in the month of November, but I'm definitely not sure about this one, is Slasher Girls and Monster Boys, which is edited by April Genevieve Dutrolk and features a lot of amazing authors. I was planning on reading this in the month of October for Halloween and just a bunch of creepy vibes, and I did read the first 2 stories, but after that I kind of stopped because at that point I was reading like 3 different novels and I don't really like reading that many at one time. So I've just kind of put this to the side until I'm able to start reading this again, and hopefully I'll at least be able to begin it again within the month of November. Obviously I'm not going to reread the first 2 stories, but I'm definitely just going to continue on. I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish this in the month of November, but I'm really hoping to because reading a creepy book in the month of December does not sound right to me, but I really do want to finish this one because I wanted to last Halloween and I never did. So I'm definitely planning on finishing this one this year and hopefully within the month of November. I would love to know down below how many books you're reading in the month of November and what those books are. I definitely have high hopes for my TBR, but I don't know if I'll be able to reach those, but hopefully so. If you want to keep up with what I'm currently reading each week, definitely check out my Bookstagram. I'll leave a link down below to that, but I've definitely been working pretty hard on it, so I hope that you guys enjoy those pictures. I just have so much fun posting them. Thank you all so much for watching, and now I'm gonna go get back to reading.